right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing. It's June 3rd. It's 9:02, so we can get started. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the Special Magistrate for this morning's hearing. The first thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify on any items on today's agenda. So if you're here for a code enforcement matter, including city staff, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands for me. One more sneaking in the back there, thank you. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. All right, thank you. You may be seated. A little bit about process. This portion of the agenda is, I think, all violation hearings. So when you hear your case called, you're going to come down here to the podium that is to my right, your left. City staff will come to the other podium. The city will go first. They will present their case, show me their documents. On this, the documents will scroll on both sides of the screens behind me. They'll call any witnesses that they intend to call. They'll tell me anything they need to tell me about the case. Once they're finished, it's your turn to tell me anything you'd like me to consider, or show me any documents that you brought with you this morning, cross-examine any witnesses that the city has put on. And once I've heard from both sides, I'll make a final ruling, and you'll get a copy of an order that reflects that ruling after the hearing today. So with that, keep in mind that all of your testimony is given under oath, and I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
First case number 13-3333 North Flagler Drive, CE 26045157, number 13-3333 North Flagler Drive.
Morning, Your Honor. Code Officer Abasella for the City of West Palm Beach. Case number CE 26045157. This had a compliance date of 5/22/26. Address is 3333 North Flagler Drive. I came upon this property because I was investigating the property directly next door due to a complaint. While investigating the gentleman next door, I noticed that this gentleman at that address also had a gravel driveway, a driveway of not made of a non-dusting material. I initiated the investigation. During the inspection, I observed the violations, and I documented my observances with photographs that are taken by me and accurately depict my observances. The number of total violations is two, excuse me, Your Honor. I'm trying to find it here. I think one of which has been blue. So the violation, the property was cited for 94-485-E, servicing and parking and loading areas. Notice violation was generated. This notice contains the date and time, location of this hearing, as well as my contact information. The notice, along with the notarized affidavit of posting, has been added to the case file. The property was posted on 4/3/26. Certified mail was sent on 5/7/26, and mail was signed for and received on 5/15/26. A follow-up inspection was completed on 5/26/26. At this time, the violation is still valid. Your Honor, I have been in contact with the engineering department, and at their suggestion and my supervisor's suggestion, due to the construction that is taking place on the roadway in front of the gentleman's property, the city is requesting a 365 days to comply, or $100 a day afterwards, until compliance is achieved. The city believes that this time frame is adequate to become compliant.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, thank you. So the gravel driveways, that's clear in the photographs, but the other issue is the pavers, is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes, the pavers were paved. The apron was paved using pavers over city property, and no permit was pulled for that. So that is,
so that's
that
the
is also
violation
viable.
of
Yes,
7831.
Yes, Your Honor, I do apologize.
Okay. All right, your names for the record?
Christopher Pickford.
Okay, and your name, sir?
Ezra Saffold.
Okay. So you've heard what the city is saying. They're willing to give you quite a bit of time. It sounds like there's construction going on the roadway right next to your property. Are you in agreement with the time frame that they've given you?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the documents that you've seen scrolling on the screen being entered into the record?
No, but we do have a couple questions
Okay.
in regards to the existing brick paver driveway. So we are looking to correct the violation, but we also wanted to know, with that still being there, should we demo it now, or what would the city like us to do in regards to the existing driveway that's done now? Like just remove it and then just leave it as is, or?
City, do you want to respond?
As per the engineering department's recommendation, I would say that you can verify with them, but because they don't want interruption of the existing construction, that it remain as is until the construction is completed or moved from that area.
Part of compliance would be like working on permitting it. They don't need it.
Well, part of the compliance is they're going to have to obviously pull permits for everything, and that's going to be
Part of that discussion in the
Correct.
permit review process. So make sure you communicate with not only the code enforcement department, but the engineering people and whoever else reviews the building permit when you apply for a permit, so that you understand what you should and shouldn't do. I think what I'm hearing them say is they're giving you a long time to comply because they don't want you to do anything right now that's going to affect the construction. So first step is get a permit application in for that apron paving there, and then you can deal with the appropriate city staff to make sure you're doing what they would like you to do and what their code allows you to do, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just want to clarify that apron that's already there, Ezra had nothing to do with. I had hired somebody who I shouldn't have assumed, but assumed that he was going to file it. It was just a little piece of construction. Evidently, it wasn't filed, and that's why it's there.
Yeah, and you can
But
correct it. It's just a matter of doing the paperwork, yeah.
But
And then,
he's pulling all the applications for me, so I asked him to include that while he's in the, process. I got to pay, the penalty, I suppose, for not having that filed.
so there won't be any fines today. So this is a violation hearing. So I'm going to give you the 365 days to comply. So you're getting a year to comply. No fine will start running until the 366th day. So the city is being very lenient with you. They understand there's something else going on that's affecting that. So they're not trying to get you to comply with either section quickly. So you have plenty of time to deal with it. You just need to make sure you've corrected the driveway material and the apron before the end of the year period. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything further from the city? Anything further from you, gentlemen? All right, with that, in case CE 26045157, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in that case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-485E and 78-31. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 365 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case number 12, 418 34th Street, CE 26055-313, number 12, 418 34th Street.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This is case number CE 26055313. Had a compliance date of 5/8/26. The address is 418 34th Street. While on patrol in my assigned zone, I noticed that there were several trees cut on this property that looked pretty extreme, hat-racked. I initiated investigation and inspected the property. During the inspection, I observed that 3 trees had been cut back. I documented my observances with photographs taken by me that accurately depict my observances. I forwarded these photos to the city's arborist in planning and zoning and asked her opinion prior to issuing the notice of violation. Total violations are 1, Your Honor, and that is 94-446-2-C tree abuse. A notice of violation was generated. The notice contains the date, time, and location of this hearing, as well as my contact information. Notice, along with the notarized affidavit of posting, has been added to the case file. Your Honor, this property was posted on 5/8/26. Certified mail was sent on 5/12/26 and received and signed for on 5/15/26. I conducted a follow-up inspection on 5/26/26 and determined that the violation obviously can't be corrected, was still in violation. While I was there on 5/26/26, I did have contact with the owner, who is present today, and she did state that she had received the certified mail. Your Honor, the city's going to request 0 days to comply. It can't be complied at this point, so we're asking for a one-time fee of $250.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, and this email correspondence, is that the city's arborist? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it just one tree that's at issue, or is
Well,
it
it
more
was
than one?
originally 3, but on my re-inspection, the other 2, in my
So it's the
opinion,
big tree in the middle?
I'm sorry?
It's the big tree in the middle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that is the one they're referring to, that's stating that is in a state of shock, and it's growing what is called water spouts, and it's the tree's attempt at survival to get photosynthesis. I'm not an arborist, but I'm imagining that's the limbs and the leaves are what are necessary for photosynthesis to be achieved. There is a picture off of Google, I believe, of February 2024 in the case file. That's it. You can see the tree in its previous. Yeah, I couldn't get the exact angle that I took my picture at.
Okay.
But you can see the tree in the back there. That's the big one that we're concerned with.
Okay. Does the remaining portion of the tree need to be removed?
We're not gonna ask for that. Say that again. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Richard Pazminos, Code Supervisor. The city's landscaper arborist didn't mention the requirement for a permit. Usually they would require that if they wanted it replaced. I think they just want the tree abuse found.
Yeah, but my question is, does that tree have to be removed? The hat rack tree, does this?
No.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
can stay as it is?
Yes.
Okay. Your name, ma'am?
My name's Miriam Obas.
Okay. So you've heard what the city is saying. Did you hire somebody to cut the tree?
I do. So we've been living on that property for 24 years. To be honest, before my husband passed away, but he's the one that took care of having everything trimmed before the hurricane season. He's been gone for the past 9 years. I've called the same company to have the trees on the property cleaned up because I don't want to get rid of any of the trees. And this is the first time that I'm cited for it. So I didn't know, first of all, that I need a permit to trim the trees, that there's a limit to what needs to be cut. The trees have been coming back every year after we trim them. Again, it's the same company, so I trusted that they knew what they were doing because I'm new at a lot of things being on my own. So the tree, I took pictures May 26, and I had, actually when the code officer came, there was an arborist that was managing another property, and he came and spoke to us, and he's been coming and taking pictures, and he was supposed to give me a report, and he didn't. I didn't get the report on time, but he said that the trees, all 3 trees are fine. So, and I believe they are because we've been doing the trimming every year. since I've been on the property. Like I said, I've been there 24 years. The intent was not to damage the tree, it was just to clean it up.
Okay. What's the city's code? What rises to the level of hat racking?
Well, it's falling under tree abuse, the 94-446-2-C. Damage inflicted on any part of a tree, including the root system, by machinery, storage materials, damage inflicted by cutting a tree, which permits infection or pest infestation, improper cutting of a tree, permanently reducing the function of the tree or causing it to go into shock, cutting which destroys the natural shape, hat racking, tears and splitting of limb ends, or peeling, stripping of the bark.
So is that that's the one you're relying on, is number 3?
Yes, I believe that's what the city's arborist is.
Can you pull that email back up, please, for me? Hold on. Thank you. Okay. So she doesn't need it, just so she understands going forward, she doesn't need a permit to prune, right? She just needs a permit to remove.
Correct.
So your landscaper
I
didn't.
don't want to remove.
Right, but I think you made a comment about not knowing you needed a permit to do the
Okay.
trimming. You don't need a permit to do the trimming, but you need a permit to remove a tree.
Okay.
But if you can go back to the photos, I mean, has your landscaper always been cutting the tree back that far?
Yes.
Okay, because that's pretty egregious in terms of removing almost every leaf that's on the tree. So you may want to talk to them about
And
how
the
they're
reason
pruning?
why, I mean, I told them to trim it. That's the verbiage that I use. But I had it's an oak tree. It's humongous. It grows really fast. And I was getting complaints from my neighbor on the east side of me. And then I had a problem with raccoons on the roof because they would be in the tree and then they would end up on the roof. So I explained that to him. And he knew what to do because he's been coming every year. But had I known, I mean, I've never received any complaints. I've never been cited, so I did not know.
Yeah, the trouble with that extent of trimming is the tree won't grow back. It'll generate some new green leaves, but it won't grow the way it's normally supposed to grow.
But
is
it
the
does
problem.
every year, though. And I
What?
have pictures of the tree now.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you show them to the code officer first before I see them?
Okay, so those are the gumbo limbos. This is a tree. Oops, sorry.
Was that a good game?
Yes, it was. So,
Yeah, these two we're not concerned about. It's the big tree.
Right,
Even
and
if
this
you
is
look
a big
back
tree.
at 2024, I'm sure if I didn't go back further than that, but with each time, according to the arborist, that the tree gets cut back to that extreme,
right.
it grows back less and less and less
So when
each year.
if you're saying February 2024, I got it trimmed in January that year. So it wasn't even to the fullest. You didn't see the tree. It comes back and,
Do me a favor, come back to the podium for me. Do you want me to see that photograph?
sure,
City Attorney, do you want to look at it, or you?
She took pictures of the other two.
Do me a
that
favor, show it to the
originally
attorney.
started it, but it's in the same condition.
Just show it to the City Attorney
I
real
was
quick.
there on the 26th, so
Thank
she
you.
took it yesterday. It hasn't.
No objection to me looking at those. Let me see those, please, ma'am. It's okay. And that's from today or recently?
26.
Okay.
Now it's even fuller.
Okay. Go that way one time. Okay. Is that the oak tree, though, or the other one?
That's the other one, and this is the oak tree.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
This is This is the same tree we're talking about. I don't know what year is pulled up there, but it goes back 21, 22. You can see the difference in the tree.
Show this to the respondent as well.
I have other pictures.
Yeah, show that to, you got it, yeah.
Here. This is 2024. This is 2022. See the difference?
This is, no, I promise you, that's how it was. I'm looking for
I
pictures.
understand, but that's what we're going by. You can see the difference. This is 2019. The tree is much fuller.
And it was full like that before getting trimmed.
I understand.
I'm gonna, I lived there for 24 years.
So what I would encourage you to do is have a discussion with your landscaper, because this is not the correct way to prune a tree.
Okay.
So I'm also not a landscape arborist, but I have seen a lot of these cases. That's almost a complete destruction of the tree. So you,
Right.
going forward, so you don't get in this predicament in the future,
Right.
you may have a discussion with them, because there's a difference between cutting the tree back so that you don't have raccoons and it doesn't damage your property. But this is way beyond normal pruning. I understand some leaves come back and some branches grow back, but the city's point is that when you cut a tree to this degree, the canopy never gets back to the size that it's supposed to get because of the way that you've cut the tree. So they're not requiring you to remove the tree, which is, I think, lenient on their part. But they are asking me to give you a one-time fine for what's happened. The photograph proves that there was an improper pruning, so I'm going to assess that. But I would encourage you, so you don't have issues in the future, talk to your landscaper and talk to the city about what, and talk to, maybe get the letter from your arborist and have them, a lot of times they'll do a mitigation plan to try to get a tree to come back. I don't know if this tree will do that, but especially on big oak trees like that, you don't want to prune them like that. Do you have any objection to the documents that you've seen on the screen being entered?
No, I don't have any. The only thing that I'd like to tell you is that the tree comes back very full every year. And any neighbor, if you talk to them, they will tell you. Because they're always, that it's the joke, my monster tree. It's a big tree, and it comes back full. So I know it will come back full. Again, I've been there 24 years. I did not take care of the tree before my husband passed. That was his responsibility. But the intent was not to kill the tree. I like that tree.
Okay, I appreciate that. Anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 26055313, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-446-2C for the improper pruning of the oak tree in the front yard. I'll assess a one-time fine for that improper pruning in the amount of $250. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next case, number 201481 7th Street, CE 260457171, number 201481 7th Street.
He's going to need to be sworn in.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Code Officer K.T. Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. I received a complaint for the property at 1481 7th Street. I observed multiple violations at the property. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 1st of 2026, citing multiple violations. The violations are 18-106-G, paint and pressure washing of the structure, areas where there's dirt, mildew, and algae. 94-71-C, outdoor storage, such as crates, bins, paint can, wood, potting soil, etc. 18-106-N, pools and spa, repairing of the pool and refilling the pool to its normal state. 18-103-B, exterior wall/roof, repair needs to be done to the roof. 18-106-K, landscape maintenance, cut, edging, and trimming. 94-482-A, unpaved parking. 94-446-2-B, tree trimming. 18-106-L, landscape requirements, installing sod to all bare areas, missing area where grass is missing, and dead areas. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, removing all trash and debris from property and pressure washing sidewalks and driveway to remove dirt and oil stains. 18-100, egress, for the second story, removing the fencing from the windows to provide egress. 94-446-2-E, edging around the entire property. 94-302-A-4, the fence repair, that has been complied. 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. 94-6, restrictions upon land use not permitted by zoning, in reference to the renting of individual rooms. 74-4-C-4, trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way. And the notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 8th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on April the 8th of 2026, and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on May 27th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on the property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on June the 1st of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of all the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with the owner, Mr. Gibson, via phone and then on today. The city is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photographs and testimony into evidence.
And what was the fine amount you said?
100.
100. And 60 days, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the only one you said was complied was 94302A4?
Yes,
The fence maintenance. Okay. Your name, sir?
Donald Gibson.
All right, so you've heard what this city is saying. You've got quite a few things to do. Do you understand what you need to do to comply?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think you can get everything done in 60 days?
I have, I think, accomplished quite a few of them
already
in the last few days.
Okay.
I have been just swamped with other things. Things like the pool, I had washed it down with muriatic acid and prepared to refill it.
Okay.
And do some minor repair. That has been done. The small amount of minor repair of the tiles around the top of the pool actually are left. But I did finish filling that as of last night, as a matter of fact. I was telling the officer, so I will accomplish that. I could go through several of them. I've taken some pictures now of the latest repairs and cutting of the shrubs, removing trash. I did have several things stored on the side of the house. I thought out of sight. Officer's correct. I have no problems, no questions about that. She identified all the things that I know needed to be done, things that had been a little neglected, perhaps a lot neglected in terms of the overgrowth. Things have been growing pretty fast lately, and that's kind of gotten out of hand. So I have spoken to the officer out front this morning, indicating that I have taken pictures myself. I understand that she will have to go back out and verify these things have been done. I'm open to that. I appreciate the additional 60 days to get the additional things completed. So I'm very open to that. I have no questions, no problems with the things that have been identified. Again, I think I have almost complied now to all of the things that are problems.
Okay.
Anything else, as she said that all of the things except one or two have not been completed. I hope that in the next, you mentioned 60 days to finish those things. I appreciate that time. Now that sounded like 60 days or $100 a day. After the 60 days, if I don't get those things done, then $100 a day to complete the other things. And obviously, you and I are in communication on the phone. You can let me know when you go back out. You'll be going back out when?
Well, as I spoke to you out there, when everything is done, you will contact me, then I will come out, because as I mentioned before, you may have one or two things that you've completed or that you will complete, but the case will still remain open and out of compliance if everything's not done. So as soon as everything is done, you call me and I come out and do a recheck.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that's the important part. She doesn't automatically come out to do an inspection. You have to call her and ask for her to come do a reinspection. What is, Madam Code Officer, what is the use not permitted violation?
This originally came about, again, as I said, as a complaint. A couple of the tenants, there were multiple
Oh, is
tenants.
this the renting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard you say that. I just didn't put that together. Okay. Has that stopped?
That is not solved, and this has been an ongoing issue with this property that I've had for, this is my 26th year in that house. And of course, the house was a single family, has always been a single family. My kids are raised there, grown and gone now. And in the last, my better half, a co-borrower, passed away about 13 years ago. I started renting a room or two to my cousins, and then some recent immigrants who could not afford to have a place to stay. I put them up, and it's a 5-bedroom house with 4 baths, a pool in the back, so I was happy to assist them. This became an issue with the previous code enforcement officer who cited me for having a rooming house. My house has never been a rooming house. It is my family. It's my home. It's a place where I have rented a couple of rooms to get the mortgage paid, and I still do that. I do have, the problem was resolved a few years ago. As it turns out, I am allowed to have a renter or two, and as well as a relative or two. So that has become an issue, and now it is more of an issue for me because it is affecting my livelihood. I have a license to rent as a renter from the county to rent. So I guess I'm kind of contesting that as a problem that can be solved in 60 days. That's what I don't want to say that I will solve that problem in 60 days. That's going to be a bit difficult for me. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
Let me hear from the city on that. What is compliance? Is it no
Cease and
tenants?
desist.
So that the property can't be rented, rooms can't be rented?
Not as a room house, no ma'am.
So the whole property can be rented?
The property can be rented. Right now, like I said, rooms are being rented, and then also there is homestead on the property. You know, and there's issues, and then like I said, speaking with several of the tenants, which did verify, that's how it came about, a complaint. Verified that, and there were other issues, but I did not go inside of the home to verify the other issues, but that I could verify, that's what I did. So he has to make a decision on what he's going to do, because as of this date, you cannot treat it as a rooming house. I understand you want to help people,
It is not a rooming house. It is my home, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that vernacular is not appropriate for my home that I rent. I understand that there are renting issues here in the city, and that's a result of the kinds of depictions of properties that are able to be rented and owners who have the responsibility for taking care of their property. So I'm kind of caught in that dilemma of the city code indicating that I cannot rent. On one hand, I can rent, but on the other hand, there seems to be some kind of issue. So I'm not really clear on how that can be resolved. I think that's a moot point that we cannot resolve in this.
Well, you can rent the house as a single family home. You have that right. You have your license for that. But as I stated, you're not renting as a single family house. You're renting the rooms. Each individual in a room pays an amount.
Right.
That's what's defined as renting a rooming house. It's not a single family home where you have a family in there and they're renting, they're paying, you rent every month for the home. That's the difference.
And does he have a BTR with the city
He has it for rental.
of the entire
Right.
dwelling?
And then he also has it homesteaded. So
You can't rent, you can't claim homestead exemption if you're
So there are some
renting.
things that has to be clarified or has
Right.
to be changed in order to bring this, to do how I'm not saying you can't rent the house, but you just have to do it in the right way.
I only get half of the homestead exemption.
Right.
By
And
the
do
way.
you live in the house with your other people?
I
Because
do.
according to some of the tenants, you come by occasionally, you don't live there. But like I said,
I have some disgruntled people who don't want to, or neglect to pay their rent, and they are frustrated with me because they want to stay there, and this is, I guess, their retaliation to complain. But legally, I'm allowed to have a few people rent there as well as live there myself. I don't have to stay there every night. They don't control my behaviors, whether I have a room there just like they do.
okay.
So some of these things, it sounds like, I'm going to give you time to comply. It sounds like you're going to have some additional discussions with the city and maybe some modification to your paperwork or maybe modification to your behavior. But what I'm hearing the city say is that they have spoken with people who told code enforcement that they're renting from your house. You have a BTR with the city for rental of the entire house, not individual rooms. So you do not have the correct approvals from the city to rent the way that you are renting. So you're going to have to correct it some way. I don't know that we're going to get to the end of it or the bottom of it here today, but I'm going to give you time to get into compliance with all of the city's codes. Are there anything, Madam Code Officer, anything require permits?
No, other than that, no.
Okay. All right, sir, any objection to the documents that you've seen on the screen being entered?
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen.
It's the paperwork, it's the notice documents, the photographs. The clerk can scroll through them. The photographs of the violations, the initial inspection photographs, and the re-inspection photographs.
Okay, I had not seen that, but I don't dispute that those are incorrect.
Okay.
I have no problem with those. Again, as I said to the officer, I think I've accomplished most, if not all of those. I look forward to your review again, to see what I've done.
Okay. Anything further that you'd like me to hear, sir?
Beg your pardon?
Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, not necessarily,
Okay.
no.
Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26045171, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case files, Composite Exhibit 1, without objection. I'm going to find, based on the notice documents that are in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting that the city had good service for this morning's hearing, I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the respondent, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103J, 18106G, 18105J, 9471C, 18106N, 18105B, 18103B, 18106K, 94482A, 94446-2B, 18106L, 18106A, 18100, 94446-2E, 7434A1H, 946, 744C4, and 70, I guess that's the last one, 744C4. I'm going to require the respondent to comply with all of those code sections within 60 days, or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue. So as the code officer indicated to you, once you have everything complied, call her and request a reinspection so that she can come out and verify your compliance, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have for contested matters at this time. Next case, number 1361 Hunter Street, CE 26045254, number 1361 Hunter Street.
Good morning. Joseph Laperna, Code Enforcement Officer, West Palm Beach. On April 28th, 2026, I was assigned to investigate a complaint for property violations at 361 Hunter Street. On April 29th, 2026, I responded to the property and discovered several violations which were noted. Contact was made with the occupant of the property, Ms. Yolanda Espinoza, regarding the violations. Ms. Espinoza stated she was in the process of vacating the property as she had sold it to a contractor, property having closed on April 16th, 2026. She stated she would do what she could to resolve some of the violations, which in fact she did. A notice of violation was posted on the property April 29th, 2026. Certified and regular mail were sent on May 6th, 2026. Certified mail was received and signed for on May 16th by the listed owner on the county property appraiser's website. The affidavit of posting was completed and filed on April 29th, 2026, and is in the case file. On June 1st, 2026, I returned to the property for a final inspection before today's hearing and found the property not in compliance, photographing the unresolved violations. The following violations remain. Section 94-442-C-1, grass, sod, or approved landscape material required in landscape areas. And Section 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, requiring stained and weathered pavement be pressure washed or otherwise cleaned. All photographs taken by myself accurately and truthfully depict violations and corrections I observed during the course of my investigation. During my investigation, I was able to locate and contact a Mr. Jason Russo, a representative for the registered agent for the property, World's Fair Capital Fund, LLC. He confirmed what Ms. Espinoza had stated, that the contractor will be acquiring demolition permits and permissions from the city in order to refurbish the property with a new structure and landscaping. The property was just recently vacated by Ms. Espinoza the week of May 25th. Also that same week, the contractor that I spoke to hired a refuse removal company to empty the residence of all of its contents, and they did post signs stating it's private property and there is no trespassing in preparation for the demolition process. However, as of this morning, no permits have been applied for yet. Therefore, after speaking with the contractor representative, the city requests an additional 60 days be given to acquire the necessary demolition permits or to resolve the remaining issues. If compliance has not been achieved in 60 days, we request the property owner be subject to a fine of $200 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved. The city believes this is more than enough time to obtain the necessary permits or to resolve the violations.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
So I heard your 60 days to either comply the items or get the demolition permit
Correct.
issued. Does
Correct.
that actually comply the items?
The last two items, based on what the contractor told me, they are going to completely dismantle everything, which would include landscaping and the driveway in preparation to rebuild. They're going to build a brand new structure on the property, which is what's going on in that zone. So if they get the proper demolition permits, city feels that that would comply the fact that they're going to be bringing equipment in and putting in new landscaping and new driveway systems as part of the refurbishment of the property.
Okay. Do you want the order to reflect that, or do you just want 60 days for compliance?
I thought in the compliance, it would be either they obtain the permits or they power wash and plant the grass. It looks like, after speaking to the contractor, it appears that they're going to go for the demolition permits.
Okay. My concern is there's a world where they could get a demolition permit but not ever demolish the house, right?
Correct, which is the 60 days. So he understood that within 60 days, they either have to have the permits and commence the process or comply with the two violations. He was supposed to call me back, which he did not.
Did he indicate how long it would take to do the demolition?
No, he did not.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want, my concern is giving you an order that they could somehow find a loophole in, right?
I respect that. I respect that.
They could get a demolition
permit
permit and never do the work, and then your code case. So my preference would be just to leave it as comply. If you want to give them more than 60 days, if you think it's going to take longer to demolish the house.
I don't believe it will. I don't believe it will.
Okay, so that you think that could get done in 60 days?
Correct.
All right, so then I'll just give them the 60 days. I won't specify anything about the permit. It'll just be comply with these sections.
Excellent.
How they do it is up to them.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 2604-5254, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106A and 94442C1. I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 60 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 2 is complied, 120 South Olive Avenue, 200, CE 260452217. Number 3 is complied, 638 5th Street, CE 260452239. Number 4, 1103 17th Street, CE 260452201.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Neil Maharaj, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Case number is CE 2604-5201. Property is 1103 17th Street, issued April 16th, 2026, to the owner, Esfandiyari Trust, Ahmed Reza. I inspected the subject property after receiving a complaint via phone call. I issued multiple city code violations, and as a result, the following violations remain not in compliance since my last inspection on May 28th. 18-106-G, paint needed on the exterior of the house. 18-105-B, 18-103-B, exterior wall, roof needs repair. 18-209 and 18-210, registration of a vacant property. This was checked this morning and it has not been registered. 18-212-C, 18-212-D, vacant building sign required. 18-265 for the boarding certificate, which it has been applied for as of April 17th, but not issued due to fees that are owed. Certified mail was successfully delivered May 15th to an individual, and the NOV was posted as of April 16th and the affidavit of posting was notarized and entered into the case files. So like I stated, the boarding certificate was the only thing that has had any progress since this violation was issued, but it's still not issued, it's just been applied for. Contact has been made with the registered agent, Jeff, but he has not provided me with any recent updates or plans to correct the remaining violations. The city is requesting 30 days to comply or a $100 fine per day.
Thank you, sir. Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
And you said 30 days or $100?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you think that's a reasonable amount of time for them to get these items complied?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, there's the posting. Is there a signed one in there? Okay, great. Okay. All right, in case CE 2604-5201, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18212C, 18212D, 18265, 18209, 18210, 18210J, 18103J, 18106G, 18105J, 18105B, and 18103B, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 5, 540 Clematis Street, CE 26045256.
Good morning, Don Williams, Code Enforcement, 540 Clematis Street, was cited for 74-4, illegal dumping of trash and litter, 22-32A, certificate of use, and 82-144, business tax receipt. The property was actually cited on 4/29/26. Certified regular mail mailed out on May 11/26. The property posted 4/30/26. No previous license history for this business. But the only remaining violation are the 82-144 and 22-32A. The other violation, 74-4A, is complied. No contact with the owner of the property. My recommendation today would be 30 days or a one-time fine for the business tax receipt, and 30 days or $200 per day for the certificate of use.
And what was the one-time fine you're asking for?
$250 for the business tax.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
And there's a business operating in there?
Yes, in the building itself, yes,
Okay.
several businesses.
And which one doesn't have a BTR?
The owner of the building itself doesn't have a BTR to rent to the tenants that actually have the businesses. So the owner of the building,
Okay. And you've spoken to the owner and he confirmed no?
not at all.
So you know he's renting it, you talked to the tenants, or
Oh, yeah.
they've applied previously, or how do you know he's renting it?
I've cited them previously for their own personal BTRs.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 26045256, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of section 74, oh no, I'm sorry, that complied also,
Yes,
right?
that complies.
82-144 and 22-32. For the violation of section 82-144, I will require a respondent to comply within 30 days or assess a one-time fine of $250. And for the violation of 22-32, I'll require a respondent to comply within 30 days or a $200 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 6301 North Lakeside Court, 308 CE 260452225.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. A tenant at 301 North Lakeside Court, Unit 308, complained about the conditions of the property. Upon my inspection, the following violation was observed. 18-103I, which is the kitchen cabinets need to be repaired. 18-97-8, hot water heater pan need replacing. 18-105C, ceiling need repair. 18-103G, bathroom fixtures need to be repaired or replaced. I actually cited this property on 4/22 of 26. Certified regular mail sent out 5/7 of 26. The property was posted 4/23 of 26. Contact has been made with the property owners and the tenant itself. All the violations are complied, but my inspection is due tomorrow, so I had to bring it before the special magistrate. So tomorrow will be my final inspection, and according to the tenant, the violations are complied. But my recommendation would be 10 days today, or a one-time fine, or 10 days, or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
All right, you said you have an inspection scheduled for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay. But your compliance date and your notice of violation was prior to
Yes.
this hearing? Okay. So that's just the date, the inspection date is just the date you scheduled with them to do the inspection?
Correct.
Okay, great. All right, anything further?
Nope.
All right, in case CE 26045225, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 1897-8, 1897-5, 18105C, 18103C, 18103G, 18105G, 18103I, 18105I, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 10 days, or a $50 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 7, 917 39th Street, CE 2603597.
Good morning, Kishana Watson-Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. 917 39th Street was referred to me by the Business Tax Development Services Department for delinquent business tax receipt. The property was cited for section 22-441, rental license being outstanding as of September 30th, 2022, and 22-32-A, certificate of use, which was expired on 9/30/2022. I initiated my investigation on April 27, 2026. The city issued a notice of violation, which identified violation, my contact information, and provide notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by regular and certified mail by the city clerk on May 6, 2026. The certified mail was received and signed for on May 15, 2026. In addition, the notice of violation was posted at the property and sitting on April 28, and I completed an affidavit of posting, which is located in the case file. As of this morning, payment was made. However, the business still remained outstanding as it failed inspection in 2021 and 2022 and needs to be rescheduled. At this time, the city is respectfully requesting 15 days to comply. If compliance is not achieved, a one-time fine of $254, section 22-441, and a daily fine of $100 for 22-32-A.
What was the fine amount?
So it's a one-time fine for $250 for 221.
Yep, the other one.
And $100 for the 2232A.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter a case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
All right, anything further from the city? All right, in case CE 26035097, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting as well as a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 2232A and 22441. For 22441, I'll require a respondent to comply within 15 days or assess a one-time fine of $250. And for the violation of 2232, I'll require a respondent to comply within 15 days or face a $100 a day fine for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 8 is complied, 701 South Olive Avenue, 303 CE 26045257. Number 9, 911 44th Street, CE 26045228.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, the property located at 911 44th was cited for several violations that were observed. The outstanding violation at this time were 2635 repeat violation, which is for 94482-A parking requirement, parking on unpaved area, as they were cited back in 2021. And 18-106L, landscape requirement, areas in the front yard is missing grass, and 94-71-C, outdoor storage, as there is miscellaneous items in the garage area. I initiated my investigation on April 24, 2026. The city issued a notice of violation, which identified violation, my contact information, and provide notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on May 12, 2026 by the city clerk. The certified mail was delivered and signed for on May 15, 2026. In addition, I posted the violation at the property and set it on April 28, 2026, and I completed an affidavit posted, which is located in the case file. On June 1st, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I observed them. At this time, the city is requesting a 30 days be granted for the sections outstanding, other than the repeat, which is a daily fine of $100 per day, which ran for 27 days.
Thank you. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, so walk me through, is the trash can in public view still at issue?
No.
Okay, so is everything else a repeat violation?
So the repeat is just for the unpaved parking, 94-482A. And they bring that in compliance on May 21st. So they ran only for 27 days.
So was out of compliance from when?
For 27 days. From April 24th to May 21st.
Okay, so you're seeking that was $100 a day, so a $2,700 fine.
$2,700, correct.
And then the rest of the code sections, you're asking for compliance within 30 days,
Or 100 days for those,
$100 a day?
correct.
Okay. Okay. Have you had any communication with the respondents?
I have not.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26045228, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file that the respondents are in violation of sections 9471C and 18106L. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. I'll also find that the respondents are in repeat violation of sections 2635 and 94482. That's a repeat violation of a prior 2021 violation. I will assess a fine for the repeat violation, which occurred for a period of 27 days in the amount of $2,700.
Number 10, 3323 North Flagler Drive, CE 26045150.
Good morning, Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. Case number CE 26045150. This had a compliance date of 5/22/26. The property is located at 3323 North Flagler. Your Honor, this is the direct neighbor of the first case heard this morning on reference to the driveway. I received a complaint on 12/17/25, and the complaint was in reference to bright lights. So we had to adjust my schedule in order to get out there during evening or early morning hours. Initiated investigation and inspection of the property on 3/31/26. While I was investigating that initial complaint, I also observed that there was a gravel driveway. It was not of a non-dusting material. During the inspection, I observed several violations. I documented my observances with photographs taken by me that accurately depict my observances. Total violations are 4. None have been resolved at this point. Violations include 94-305-E, visibility triangle. There is a hedge that comes straight up to the property line, maybe even over the property line, that would prevent a vehicle that is stopped at the traffic control device to be able to see oncoming traffic. 78-31, unpermitted driveway curb crossing, or an unpermitted driveway. Investigation revealed that this property actually created its own aprons. There is a picture from Google that will show that the front yard was actually grass and trees, and the driveway in its original form was on the, I guess that would be the south side of the house. Also included 94-302-A-3 is fence permits. There was a fence put up, again, documented by photographs. 94-485-E surfacing and parking of the driveway. A notice violation was generated. This notice contains the date, time, and location of this hearing, as well as my contact information. The notice, along with a notarized affidavit of posting, has been added to the case file. Service was achieved by posting the property on 4/3/26. Certified mail and first-class mail was sent on 5/6/26. On 520, I'm sorry. On 529, I believe it was, I have the wrong date written here. The mail indicates that it's being held for pickup in California. So, okay. The city is going to stay true to its further recommendation for the neighbor due to the construction that is taking place. So the city's going to request 365 days or $200 a day if not complied. We have had zero contact with the owner at this point. There were several, if you see the pictures from Google, they removed a paved driveway which was located on the south side of the house. There was no permit for installation or removal. They installed a wood fence at the gate on the south side of the house. There was no permit for that. Installation of pavers.
Fence? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is that what you're talking about right there?
Yes, that fence was not permitted. No permit shows anywhere in the system for it. And that is another pavered area that they created themselves. They created a curb or an apron over city property. They also, if you look at the Google previous pictures from years past in Google, they removed the entire front yard and trees. There were no permits for that. They planted the hedges around the perimeter of the property that impedes on the city's right-of-way property. No permits for that. And the installation of the gravel driveway that actually, according to property appraiser, if the lines that show up are accurate, the driveway actually exceeds their property line.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
All right. In case CE 2604515, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94305E, 7831, 94302A3, and 94485E, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 365 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 11, 711 8th Street, CE 260452242.
Morning, Your Honor. Code Officer Tony Apicella with the City of West Palm Beach. Case number CE 26045242. This had a compliance date of 5/29/26. The property is located at 711 8th Street. This was brought to my attention via a complaint that was received by a former tenant. I initiated investigation and inspection on the property on 4/24/26, and the first violation that popped out at me was that there was trash and debris all over the property. I conducted the inspection and observed several violations. I documented my observances with photographs taken by me that accurately depict my observances. There was a total of 10 violations initially. 5 of those have been moved to resolved status, and I have been in contact with the property owner pretty regularly. A notice of violation was generated. This notice contains the date and time and location of this hearing, as well as my contact information. The notice, along with the notarized affidavit of posting, has been added to the case file. The remaining violations or outstanding violations are 18103F. There's a staircase. That would be the west side of the property right there, but I would be afraid to touch it. So he is in the process of getting quotes and permits to remove that staircase and replace it. 78-6 address numbers. He has complied, I would say, with 90% of it, placing the address characters where they are. But I think he jumped the gun, they painted the building, and then they painted over the numbers.
Oh, painting over, okay.
94-442-C-1, landscape areas must be grass. 94-446-2-B-3, hat racking prohibited. And 94-448-D-1, a tree alteration permit. So he is in the process. I have been in contact. There is an email in the case file, Your Honor. He's in the process of redoing the roof, which he has permits for. So in discussion with him, he doesn't want to resod the property until the roof is done, because they're going to be bringing vehicles onto the property to tear it off and things of that nature. So I was in agreement with him on that. Property was posted on 5/1/26. Certified mail was sent on a 5/11/26, and mail was received on 5/15/26. I conducted a follow-up investigation on 5/26/26 and found the violations that I just read to you to still be intact. The city at this point is requesting 180 days to comply, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved. The city believes, as in an agreement with the owner, that this time frame is adequate to become compliant.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Oh, one more thing I forgot, Your Honor. For the hat racking 94-446-2-B-3, the city is requesting a one-time fine of $250.
All right, and the 94-448-D1, they still get 180 days for that to get the permit for the tree?
Well, the tree, if you can go back to the picture, the tree's not coming back. So it's basically needs to be taken down. I was there. It looks like it was taken down to a stump. So the city's going to require as you can see, it's not there anymore. That's a different tree. That's a different tree.
So that's the
There
tree
it
you're hat
is.
racking? That's your,
Yeah, well,
they're
the city's more concerned about that particular tree right there, or what's left of it. It's been taken down further.
but they
So
still need to get a permit to
They
remove it?
They have to have a permit to remove the tree completely, which I don't know if they're still in the process of doing that. It has been taken down to, I guess, other than grinding the stump or digging out the stump, it's gone.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
And you said the certified mail was signed for?
5/15/26.
Let me just see that one. All right, you have service via posting, so that's fine. All right, in case CE 26045242, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I will find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103F, 18105F, 786, 94-442C1, 94-446 2B3, and 94-448D1. For the violation of 94-446 2B3, I'll assess a one-time fine in the amount of $250 for the hat racking that's displayed in the photographs. For the remaining violations, I'll require a respondent to comply within 180 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 14607, Alvarado, CE 26035116.
Good morning. Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 3/25/26 and posted on 3/26/2026. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 3/27/26. I have been in contact with the owner. This property was cited for several violations and 2 remain. 94442C-1. Landscaping areas must be grass. I observed areas along the front of the property and parkway that needs grass, sod, or approved plant material. Also for 18103-J painting, I observed that the 2 structures still on the property need painting. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of May 29, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 45 days to achieve compliance. I believe 45 days is enough time to come to correct the violations. If they don't come in compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Okay, so there's no grass anywhere, really?
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 26035116, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-442C1 and 18103J, 18106G, and 18105J. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 45 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 15619, Monsoy Road, CE 26045220.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 4/21/26 and posted on 4/22/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 5/26/26. I have been in contact with the owner, and the property was cited for several violations and 2 remain. 22441, the rental license. I observed that and confirmed with the owner that the property is being rented without a rental license. Section 2232, certified use. I observed and confirmed that the owner that the certificate of use is required. All information accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of June 2nd, 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days to achieve compliance. I believe 30 days is enough time to correct the violation. If they do not come in compliance, the city is asking for a one-time fee of $250 and $100 a day for certificate of use until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
And you said you talked to them and they admitted to renting and,
Correct.
okay. Is this a house?
Single family,
A
yes.
single family, okay. Okay. Anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 26045220, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the notice documents, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 22441 and 2232. For 22441, I'll require a respondent to comply within 30 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed. For violation of 2232, I'll require compliance within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 16838, Avenida Hermosa, CE 260451888.
Good morning, Officer Rafael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 4/7/26 and posted on 4/13/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 5/11/26. I've been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for several violations and one remains, 9471-C, outdoor storage residential. I observed that the property continued to have outdoor storage in the carport area. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of May 26, 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days to achieve compliance. I believe 30 days is enough time to correct the violation with inspections. If they do not come into compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Okay, that's the outdoor storage there.
Correct.
So they did the hard stuff, but not the easy stuff.
Yes.
Bless you. All right, there we go. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 26045118, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of section 9471C, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 17739 K Street, CE 26024940.
Good morning, Officer Rafael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 2/24/26 and posted on 2/25/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 3/17/26. I have not been in contact with the owner. This property was cited for exterior wall and roof issues. I observed that this property had a blue tarp indicating issues with the roof. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of May 26, 26, property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 90 days to achieve compliance. I believe 90 days is enough time to correct the violation and apply for the permits and inspections. If they don't come in compliance, the city is asking for $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Sir, Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
I believe as of yesterday, they did apply for the actual roof permits.
Okay, so there's some movement.
There's some movement now.
Okay. TARP might not be doing its job anymore.
No.
Is anybody living there?
No, it's vacant.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 2602-4940. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files, composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer and the photographs and documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 18105B, 18103B, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those sections within 90 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 18849 McIntosh Street, CE 26045205.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 4/15/26 and posted on 4/20/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 5/18/26. I have been in contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for several violations and 2 remain. 78-6 address characters. I observed that this property had characters on the door and mailbox, but not on the structure of the home. Line 4442C1, I observed areas that should be covered with natural grass or approved ground cover. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of May 7, 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days to achieve compliance. I believe 30 days is enough time to correct the violation. And if they do not come in compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including photos and testimony as evidence.
Was that a picture of not a chicken?
Yes, no chicken there.
Okay, and where's the grass missing? Is it everywhere in the yard?
They had a truck on the side parked there, and so what they attempted to do is just lay sod down where the truck trail was. It just wasn't sufficient enough to pass. So they're working on it, but I just had to fail it because it just wasn't enough grass that was covering that area. And you can see the trails there.
Oh, I see. They put little strips there.
Yeah.
Okay. And they understand that you've failed that and they need to do a little bit more to
Yes.
get that right? Okay. And 30 days should be more than enough time. the numbers were on the door, right, in the photo?
Yeah, the numbers on the door and actual mailbox post, but not on the structure.
And the code requires it to be on the wall of the house?
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 26045205, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the photographs and documents in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of section 78-6 and 94-442C1, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 19, 1307 13th Street, CE 26045214.
Morning again, Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed several violations at 1307 13th Street. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 13th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violation is 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, removing the remaining trash and debris from the property. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 21st of 2026. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. The certified mail was signed for on May the 21st of 2026. I revisited the property on June 1st of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the previously listed violation. I have spoken to the property owner's son, who has been working to comply all of the violations. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
So what's the issue with the clean and sanitary?
It's trash if she keeps going down. They ended up doing more things than they should have done, and so that back there, they took down a tree and upheaved the backyard, so there's that remaining debris and stuff in the backyard. That's it, which he's working to resod and everything. But as soon as that's done, he has done everything else, complied with everything else.
And he knows what he needs to do? You've talked to him about that? Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26045214, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 18106A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 21, 1563 6th Street, CE 26045212.
Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While checking a complaint at 1563 6th Street, I observed violations at this location. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 16th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 94-482-A, parking requirements, unpaved parking. 18-106-L, the landscape requirements, side areas throughout the property that are bare and missing grass. 94-446-2-E, edging around the entire property. 18-106-G, paint touch-up on the fence, the driveway, and areas on the structure. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 21st of 2026. Certified and regular mail was sent on May the 27th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on June the 1st of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the previously listed violations. I spoke to Francis Bruno via phone, who inquired about the violations and how to comply the violations. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
What's the parking requirement and the landscape required?
The parking is they are continually parking on the grass, specifically this car, and then when I went out to re-inspect, there was another vehicle in the swell, so it's a constant thing. The original complaint came in as it being almost rented as a rooming house. I have no way of verifying that. The property is a rental property that's up to date. It's not homesteaded. I don't know if they're trying to use it as an Airbnb, but there are multiple people that live there for short periods of time, maybe long periods of time, as in the gentleman that was going in at the date that I first started taking my pictures. But I had no way of verifying, so all I can say is that they're parking everywhere, and that they cannot do. And I have spoken with the owner and the person that called me and informed them, but as of Monday, that has still been going on. This is as of Monday.
Okay, and that's where they need the grass, is where their cars have been driving all over the grass, yeah.
Yes.
And the paint is the house or the fence?
There's some areas on the house, but there's the fence as well as repainting the driveway.
Okay.
And the landscaping, they had a company to come out and cut originally, because when I went to post, they were cutting, but it's just something that they need to do on a regular basis to keep it maintained.
All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26045212, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondents are in violation of sections 94-482A, 18-106L, 94-446-2E, 18-106B, 18-106K, 18-103J, 18-106G, and 18-105J. And I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 22, 1349 9th Street, CE 2604563.
Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed violations at 1349 9th Street. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 29th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 94-446-2-E, edging around the entire property. 94-446-2-B, tree and hedge trimming, mainly hedge trimming remaining. 18-106-B, overgrowth, cut, trim, and edge the property, etc., and swell area. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, removing trash and debris and pressure washing the sidewalks and the driveway. 94-442-E, landscaping of swells and parkways, cut, trim, edge, and sod the bare areas. The last one is FBC 105-1, failure to secure building permit for the shed. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on May the 4th of 2026. Certified and regular mail was sent on May 15th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on June the 1st of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the previously listed violations. I have not had any contact with the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence. And where's the shed?
It's in the photos.
Did I miss it in your initial inspection photos?
I'm not for sure. Maybe in both, but if you, I'll show it to you. That's on the other side of the house.
Oh, there it is.
Right,
Okay.
yes.
So no permit on file?
No.
Okay. All right, the rest of the violations are clear. Now I just need the notice documents. Okay, great, thank you. All right, in case CE 26045263, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-446-2E, 94-446-2B, 18-106B, 18-106A, 94-442E, and Florida Building Code 105.1. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 23, 1360 13th Street, CE 26045-213.
Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed violations at 1360 13th Street. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 13th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 18-106-M, landscape maintenance, cutting, trimming, edging, etc. 74-4-C-1, hurricane hazard, cutting and trimming overgrowth from the trees and away from the structure. 18-209 and 18-210, the registration of the vacant property. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, removing trash and debris and pressure washing sidewalks and driveway of the property. 94-446-2-E, edging and edging around the entire property. 18-106-K, overgrowth, cutting, trimming, edging the property in the swell area. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 21st of 2026. Certified and regular mail was sent on May 26th to the mailing address listed on the property appraisers. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on June the 1st of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the previously listed violations. I was contacted by a Ms. Paola Gutierrez about the violations. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony. It's evidence.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I forgot one of my codes, 18-106-G, painting and paint touch-up around the trim and some of the exterior of the property, and yes.
Okay, thank you. What is the hurricane hazard?
There's trees and overgrowth on some of the trees on the side and in the rear of the property.
They're close to the house?
Yes, some of them are on the house, touching the
Okay.
house. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
great. Oh, in the back
yes.
there. Oh, I see, okay. All right, the edging is clear. The house needs to be painted, is that?
Parts of it, not the entire.
Okay, but it's just the
Yes,
house that
yes.
needs paint?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the overgrowth is clear, and it's vacant.
Yes.
All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26045213, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files, composite exhibit 1, without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the photographs and documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106M, 74-4C1, 18209, 18210, 18210J, 18106A, 94-446-2E, 18103J, 18106G, 18105J, 18106B, and 18106K, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that completes the first part of the agenda.
All right, what were the other matters set for 11:30? Yes. Okay, so I'll adjourn this portion at 10:56. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call back to order the other matters section of today's agenda. My name is Amity Barnard, the special magistrate for this portion of the hearing. First thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's going to be testifying on any items that are on today's agenda. So if you're here for a code enforcement matter, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands. I'll swear you all in at once. Thank you. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. When you hear your case called, you come down to the podium that's on my right, your left side. City staff will be at the other podium. They'll give me a bit of brief information as it relates to the fine amounts, and then it'll be your opportunity to explain to me why the fines or liens should be reduced. So keep in mind that all of your testimony this morning is given under oath, and with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
First case number 25-3201 North Australian Avenue, CE 18090239, number 25-3201 North Australian.
Good morning, Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Supervisor. Property located at 3201 North Australian Avenue was cited in 2018 for hurricane hazard, landscaping the parkways and swale, failure to pull a building permit, and trash can in view of public. Date ordered was 11/7/2018 to come into compliance on 1/6/2019. Fine started on 1/6/2019 for $100 a day. Data compliance was achieved was 3/31/2020. Total of 450 days out of compliance for total fine of $45,000. The respondent and the city came into an agreement to reduce this fine down to $5,000.
Reduce it down to $5,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Payable within how many days?
I would say probably about 60 days. The respondent could speak on.
All right, your name, ma'am?
Latoya Ferguson.
All right, you've heard what the city has said. You're in agreement with that fine amount?
Yes.
Okay, and you can pay that within 60 days?
She's talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Can you pay it within 60 days, or do you need more time to pay that?
Can we do 90 days? Just to be on the safe side, but I'm gonna pay it soon.
That's fine.
All right, I'll give you the 90 days just to make sure that you get it paid. All right, anything else you'd like me to hear?
No.
All right, anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 18090239, having heard from the city as well as the respondent, I will reduce the lien amount from $45,000, down to $5,000 payable within 90 days. And she'll give you a copy of an order that reflects that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Next cases numbers 26 and 27 for 3830 Eastview, CE 190100520 and CE 24082480.
Good morning once again. Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement Supervisor. The property located at 3830 Eastview was cited back in 2019 and again on 2024. For the 2019 case number CE 190100520, property was cited for painting the exterior of the property. Exterior walls and foundation needed to be repaired. Walls and roof needed to be repaired, outdoor storage, trash can in view of public, landscape maintenance. On this particular case, the date ordered was 3/6/2019 to comply by 5/6/2019. Fine started on 5/6/2019 for $100 a day. Compliance was achieved on 11/19/2019. For a total number of days out of compliance for 197 for one code, and the second code 252 days out of compliance for a total of $26,000 on this particular case. for case number CE 24082480. Landscaping was cited, pruning standards was cited, paint was cited, fence maintenance was cited, hat racking, swales and parkway, weathertight exterior, trash and debris. Date ordered 10/2/2024 to comply by 3/30/2025. Fine started on 3/31/2025 for $150 a day. Date compliance was achieved was 17/2025 for total number of days out of compliance. Anyhow, the total fine on this was $16,200 for a total fine of both cases, $42,200. This is a new property owner, and this property owner did the work to bring this property into compliance. So this owner and the city came into an agreement to bring down this fine to $5,000.
For total or?
Yes, total, yes.
So 2,500 in each case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Payable within how much time?
I would say 60 days.
All right, your name, sir?
Harlan Miller.
All right. You've heard what the city is saying. You're in agreement with the reduction down to 2,500 in each case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you can make that payment within 60 days?
Today, I'll make it, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, thank you.
Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 190-10520, having heard from both the city and the respondent, I will grant the mutually agreed reduction and reduce the lien amount in that case from $26,000 down to $2,500 payable within 60 days. And in case CE 2408-2480, again, having heard from the city as well as the respondent, I will grant the mutually agreed reduction, reduce the lien amount from $16,200 down to $2,500 payable again within 60 days. And she'll give you copies of those orders.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Instructions are on the bottom. You can put it across the hall. Next, case numbers 24 and 28 for 3802 Westview. 24 is CE 1901044. Number 28 is CE 2403159.
Good morning. Richard Pazmino, City West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Supervisor. The property at 3802 Westview Avenue has two lien code enforcement cases. First one started in 2019, and the second one 2024. For the 2019 case, it was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, exterior paint, trash can placement, and outdoor storage. It was given an ordered compliance date. It was ordered on March 6, 2019, ordered to comply by April 5th, 2019. The fine started accruing on April 6, 2019 at $100 a day. The fine ran for a total of 59 days. The total fine in this case is $5,900. The city is recommending reducing that to $590. For the second case, the 2024 case, it was cited for multiple violations, prohibited trees, trash can in public view, outdoor storage, landscaping, pressure washing sidewalks and retaining walls, and faded paint on the driveway. The case was ordered on May 1st, 2024, ordered to comply by October 28th, 2024, and the fine started accruing on October 29th, 2024 at $100 a day. The case ran for 540 days and complied on April 22nd of this year, 2026. The total fines in this case are $54,000. The city is recommending reducing that to $5,400. I spoke with the owner. I got a brief history of the property and his situation. That's why the city's making those recommendations. Under the current ownership, there has been 6 code cases throughout his ownership.
And were these violations during this owner's ownership?
Yes, same owner since 1979.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, your name, sir?
Lee Hooks.
All right, so you've heard what the city is saying. What is your position?
Well, I have a long position on this particular issue. First of all, the issue started in 2019, was dealing with the trash can in public view, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
My trash can had been in the same place since 1979. Then all of a sudden in 2019, it's in violation. I did not receive the citation. It was plastered to my garage door. We have a school down the street, Northmore Elementary School. School kids come through there, take mail out of mailboxes, take stuff off the garage doors. I never did receive that citation. When I found out that I was in violation of that, I came down to find out what I needed to do. Paid $250 to come before the magistrate. Never received the information. They claimed they emailed me. I never got it because I look at it like this, ma'am. If the code enforcement officer has sent me something out about a trash can being in public view, because the driveways were painted, and also we did paint the house. If you're still passing by my house within 30 days and the trash can is in the same place, I'm going to have to try to find out why didn't the person take care of the trash can. Okay? Never was asked. So, failure of communication. I've said this, I've gone through Kelly Show, former city commissioner. I've gone through Commissioner Joe Peduzza, who I work for now.
Mm-hmm.
His aide, who looked into it, couldn't get me any answers. I went through it with the previous code enforcement director here. No particular answer. I couldn't get any answers. I even went through it with Jennifer Farrell, who was over code at one time. She couldn't give me any answers. So I've been trying to get this rectified for years and years. 7 years going on now.
Okay.
Okay? So I feel it's very unfair to, I said this to, as a matter of fact, my man here yesterday, I said, it's no telling. I live in a community with a lot of senior citizens. I'll be 80 years old this year. I'll be 80 this year.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of senior citizens who probably don't even know they're in violation of code on any particular thing. So it's a very disruptive situation for my lifestyle. The only reason I knew I owed $55,000 was I tried to get a loan to put in hurricane windows and doors. And they came back and said, Mr. Hooks, you have $55,000 in liens on your property. I said, huh? What? And then found out that most of that was due to trees which were not in violation at all. So that's, I had a real serious issue with that amount of money on both those particular things. I just can't. First of all, I can't afford to pay $6,000 in liens. Just can't do it.
Okay, so what, I mean, the first case they're recommending reduction to $590. That's
right.
That's a nominal amount of money. I don't even think that covers the city's costs, if I had to guess, in terms of bringing you to hearing and recording documents. But in the second case, why should the fine be reduced further than $5,400?
Why should it be what now?
Why should it be reduced further than the city's recommendation of $5,400?
Because first of all, the lien was going on $100 a day on trees that were not in violation. Schiffeleri trees.
But did you show up at the hearing?
This is the first time I'm coming for this particular hearing.
Okay, well, this is not the hearing where you argue that you were not in violation. That hearing happened in 2024.
And that's when I started going to various city officials trying to get it rectified.
Okay, but the city's also telling me that you've had 6 code enforcement cases, so this is not a one-time.
I don't know what other 6 cases. I don't know the other 6 cases.
In 2009, there was a case for inoperative junk vehicles.
A what?
Inoperative or junk vehicles.
Never had a junk vehicle in my yard.
In 2019, including this case, there was another one for vegetation. It's a sanitation violation. Vegetation out Wednesday for Monday pickup. In 2021, there was a bare landscaping and sodding of the swale case.
Do you have the exact date on that? Because now, what was that date again?
That was 2021. It would be June 10th, 2021.
I had someone taking care of my yard at that time. They may have put trash out at that particular time when I may have been out of town. So
And then there was a resolved case earlier this year, March, for an expired business license.
That was, yeah.
But that was,
Do
that was
you
complied
live
shortly.
at the house, sir?
Excuse me?
Do you live at the house?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, I've been living there for 49 years.
Okay. But there's a business license?
It could have, without digging into it,
There was a
we
young
issue
man-
business license for offices for multiple different.
The business was never at my home. I had a young man who was living at my home who moved to Georgia, who was using my address for his mail. That's all. And that was the reason for that.
Okay. So what do you?
And he came down and resolved that issue.
Yeah, that was
He came back in
resolved
town.
right away.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think the $54,000 lien should be reduced to?
$200. I'm not being funny.
Well,
because
so with all due respect, though, sir, all I've heard is you didn't know about it and you didn't do it.
No.
Those are not reasons for me to reduce a lien, and $200 is not going to get it done.
No, what I'm saying is, if I am being violated for trees that were not in violation, why am I being leaned on that? You see what I'm saying?
So just so you understand how code enforcement works, the city, this city, and any other city in the state of Florida has to follow the state law. So what the state law does is the state law tells the city how they have to mail notices to you, how they have to effectuate service to you for all hearings, all cases that are brought before any special magistrate.
I understand that.
So at any hearing that a lien was imposed on you, there would have been a finding by that magistrate that there was legally sufficient service for that hearing. So telling me you didn't know doesn't work. That trees were not in violation.
Just happens to be the truth. I don't have to lie about that. I did not receive any information. As a matter of fact, I read some of the documentation where they said they tried to serve me with
I've let you speak. Let me let you speak. The law does not say that you have to receive the notice. The law says you have to be provided notice by certified mail and they have to post your property. If they have done one of those two things, they are legally serving you and they can proceed with a hearing. So I'm sure that back in 2019 and in 2024, those findings were made because otherwise there would not have been orders issued against you. Those then become recorded in the public record against you. So the time to argue that trees were not in violation were at those prior hearings. This is the time for you to tell me what you did to get into compliance, not for you to come here and say there were no violations and I didn't know about it, so the lien should go away.
Well, ma'am, here's my question for you. I was told that any trees that were planted in my yard prior to 2017 couldn't be held in violation.
Again, this is not the hearing for that. That's the violation hearing is when you need to come and present whatever evidence that you have. You're asking me to relitigate the merits of the case. That is not this hearing. This is a fine mitigation hearing. If you didn't think that the orders that were assessed against you were legitimate, you could have appealed those orders. You have a remedy.
That was the reason I checked with your prior code enforcement director, which he was obviously not aware of the 2017 ruling that the city had put in place about any trees that had been planted prior to 2017 couldn't be held against the owner of the property.
But neither of these cases are solely about trees. They're about clean and sanitary, Swales Parkway, weather-tight exterior, clean and sanitary, prohibited trees, trash cans in public view, outdoor storage, paint, clean and sanitary. So there are more than just trees at issue in both of your cases.
You could come to my house at any given time. My house is clean and sanitary. There's a picture of it right there.
All right, so I'm going to ask you one final time. You said $200. That is not a reasonable amount of money. What is a reasonable reduction of the fine that you think I should reduce the fine amount to in the second case?
$1,000.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like me to hear, sir?
No.
Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right. In case CE, how long do you need to pay whatever reductions I order? Do you need 90 days?
90 days would be fine.
Okay, great. In case CE 190-10424, having heard from the city as well as the respondent, I will reduce the previous lien amount down from $5,900 to $590 payable within 90 days. In case CE 2403-1539, again, having heard from the city as well as the respondent and considering the number of code cases against this property owner and the gravity of the violations, I will reduce the lien amount from $54,000 down to $5,000 payable within 90 days.
5,000?
Yes, sir.
I thought we just said 1,000. I can't afford that.
That's what you asked for, but that's not what I ruled. So you'll get copies of those orders in the mail.
I'm going to need more than 90 days in for $5,000.
That's what I'm giving you to pay, sir, 90 days.
So what do I do after that? If I can't pay it in 90 days, what happens?
The liens revert back to the original amount.
It's a copy of your order, sir.
All right, anything further?
That's it.
All right, I'll adjourn this hearing at 11:50.